Mr. President, but I come to the floor today, too, as the ranking member of the Appropriations Committee. And I come here to ask my colleagues to bring to the floor and pass a clean Homeland Security appropriations for fiscal 2015. And this isn't just Senator Barb Mikulski calling for this. The former heads of Homeland Security under President Bush and also under President Obama. The very first head of that agency, Governor Tom Ridge, along with Mr. Chertoff and Janet Napolitano, have written to Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell and said, please, as former secretaries of Homeland Security, we write to you today to respectfully request that you consider decoupling critical legislation to fund the Department of Homeland Security for fiscal year 2015 from a legislative response to President Obama's actions on immigration. They feel that tethering a bill, and I'm quoting their letter, to fund DHS to a legislative response to President's executive actions on immigration could lead to a shutdown of Homeland Security. We don't want to shut down. They conclude their letter, and I won't go through the whole letter, that it's imperative that we ensure that the Department of Homeland Security is ready, willing, and able to protect the American people. To that end, says Ridge, Chertoff, and Napolitano, we urge you not to risk the funding for the operations that protect every American to pass a clean bill in the DHS funding. Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that letter be included in the record.
Without objection.
Mr. President, the Department of Homeland Security was established right after the terrible attack on the United States of America on September 11, 2001. The Department of Homeland Security is a big agency, but protecting the homeland is a big agency. And the DHS employees are on the job every day. The Coast Guard, safeguarding our waterways. Secret Service, not only both protecting the president, the first family, the vice president, and also doing other important tasks. The border control and ICE, the customs immigration, securing borders against smugglers, traffickers, and illegal immigrants. Cyber warriors, people protecting us against biothreat and nuclear threat and analysis. And then also working with first responders, FEMA, on everything to protect us in the event of an attack on the homeland, to have readiness and response and shelters and so on, to helping us now in hurricanes and blizzards like what we're facing on the Northeast. It also helps state and local responders to have the resources that they need to be able to respond at the local level. The Fire Grant Program is so beloved in our communities, where through competitive exercise, they can go for grants to buy respiratory equipment, the new fire trucks and so on that they need. You know, in my community, you can't just come up with this equipment on fish fries and pancake breakfasts. You need a government on your side. Unfortunately, the Department of Homeland Security funding runs out on February 27th. Now, let me give you the background. When we came back in September, facing the fact that we had to have a continuing resolution to get us through the fiscal year, the opening of the fiscal year and the election cycle, the Congress passed legislation where and then on December 11th, when we did the omnibus, we passed an omnibus bill for every single agency with the exception of Homeland Security. So every single agency from the Department of Defense to the Department of Health and Human Services, Education, the Weather Service, all of these important programs, NIH, were funded through the fiscal year. But we put Homeland Security on a CR because there was an intense and actually very prickly concern over the president's executive action on immigration. So rather than hold up the whole funding of the United States of America over temper tantrum politics, over Obama's executive action on immigration, we went to a CR, a continuing resolution on Homeland Security. The Homeland Security was to take us to February 27th, where wiser heads and now complete control by the Republican Party would be able to move this for full funding. So where are we? Well, during that time in December, as the chair of the Committee on Appropriations, with my Vice Chairman, Senator Richard Shelby, Senator Dan Coates, the Subcommittee on Homeland Security, Senator Dan Coates and Senator Mary Landrieu, we came up with a fiscal framework. So did the House. They came up with it. So the very money that we've put in the CR and the clean bill that Senator Shaheen, now the chair, now the ranking member, and I have, has the funding for Homeland Security that Homeland Security says it needs, and we've arrived at on a bipartisan basis. If, in fact, we are allowed to bring up a clean bill, we've agreed on the money. There is no dispute over the money. We have looked very carefully at it. We've worked on a bipartisan basis. We've worked on a bicameral basis. We're ready to go. What will slow us down is if we get into an intense debate on immigration and riders to try to stop the activities of President Obama. I would strongly recommend to my colleagues, do not play politics with the security of the United States of America. We were all horror-stricken at what happened in Paris. We're just repulsed at what is going on with ISIL. We're very concerned about lone wolf attacks. We worry if, and the chair of the authorizing Committee on Homeland Security in the House has said, oh, they're coming here, they're on their way, we got to be ready. Well, one of the ways that we've got to be ready is to make sure that the resources at Homeland Security are funded and that they're not worried about a shutdown, showdown, slam down politics over a fight on immigration. Should we have a discussion on immigration? You betcha. Should we even have a outright robust debate on it? I'm all for it. But leave Homeland Security alone. Pass the money bill. If you disagree with the money, argue over that. But if you want to fight over immigration policy, that's another debate for another day in another way. The nation faces growing threats. Americans are endangered at home and abroad. Terrorists are threatening us with bombs and guns, lone wolves in Ottawa, organized radicals in Paris, cyber criminals with backing from nation states and organized crime. In terms of Secret Service, we have the need to reform Secret Service. We have fence jumpers at the White House, drones landing on the White House lawn. In the face of these threats, the Republican majority's response is to hold the funding of Homeland Security up to pick a fight with the president over immigration. Uncertainty undermines security. Uncertainty undermines security. Let's give the agency certainty of funding. We're 4 months into the fiscal year. Another continuing funding resolution would be their 5th continuing resolution. That's no way to run an agency so big, so complicated. Senator Coates and Senator Landrieu and our House colleagues worked so well. They provide the necessary to come up with a bill. They provide resources for DHS with the total funding of $49 billion, an increase of over $400 million above the fiscal 14. We could pass that today. We could pass it on Monday. We could pass it on Tuesday. All of my Democratic colleagues and I wrote a letter to Senator McConnell asking him to schedule an immediate vote on a clean vote on Homeland Security. Well, let's see where we go on that. What we have here, the clean bill offered by Senator Shaheen, now the ranking member on the Homeland Subcommittee on Appropriations, and I have a compromise funding bill that gives certainty to the people who work on the front lines to secure the nation, whether it's securing the border, whether it's building capacity to meet agricultural and biological threats, whether it's replacing aging nuclear detection equipment, also helping our Coast Guard build their national security cutter so that the Coast Guard can protect us against drug runners, pirates, terrorists. More than any other specific increase, enacting a clean Homeland Security bill shows what Congress and the nation value. We do value security, and we value the men and women who work every day to provide us with that security. Uncertainty jeopardizes security. We value them, and I urge my colleague to put the money where our mouths are, to enact a clean Homeland Security bill, and not to get into this whole debate on immigration. Mr. President, I look forward as we wrap up the funding on the debate on the Keystone Pipeline. We then do take up Homeland Security, and we take up a clean bill. Mr. President, I yield the floor.